So we've got Jen Andersen, program manager with Trillium, Paul Barrett, who's here, who's a franchise owner with Westside Pizza, Miranda Fort, another program manager with Trillium, Ronnie Oswald, who is Director of Adult Education Services at Holly Ridge Center, and Samantha Shear, who's an Adult Employment Services person at Holly Ridge as well.
So I wanted to introduce you to Naomi. She came to us from school to work programs, find a job right before you went to school, so you get into adulthood with a job. And I wanted to tell you a little about supported employment so you know what it is. This is where we find somebody who wants a job. We get to know them, what their likes are, their dislikes, and find the perfect job, something that matches them and an employer. And then we go help with the interview, teach interview skills, get the interview, and help get them their job. And then we support them to learn the job and stay on the job. Our main focus is to find the job that they love, that they will stay in. A lot of our people stay in their jobs for well over a year. Turnover is really low. We have clients or people that have been working at the same job for 25 years. So it's a high retention.
So what is a supported employment agency? It's a group of professionals like ourselves who work with businesses to identify maybe where you aren't being as efficient as you need to be. And we come in and we sit down and we learn from you about where is your business right now? Where are your hiring needs? Where are you maybe not being as efficient? And then we work with you to identify how can we make some of those tasks into its own separate kind of niche role. And then we bring in a skilled worker to get that done, which helps you become more productive and increase your revenues, which is kind of what we're all here for.
I like to ask a business what isn't getting done, because that's what we fill in, is what isn't getting done on time or getting done, or what are you paying your top producer to do that one of our people could come in and help and save you money and probably increase your revenue. We have a girl, she works at JCPenney's. She went in, her only job was to straighten out the sale rack, get it all, everybody back, you know, the colors and the clothing, because that would, people just threw stuff in there. And their sales in their sale rack went up by 25% just because she organized it. So there are small things that you probably don't even know will increase your profitability by quite a bit.
All right. Some benefits to your business for hiring somebody with a disability. It really improves teamwork. I truly believe that. I've seen it over and over again. The people that we work with bring so much joy. They want to work so much. So, you know, we hear people talking about like the unemployment rate being low or the turnover rate being so high. I think this is something that helps reduce that because it really does add a sense of community. You see, it's contagious to see somebody else want to be at work and do the best that they can. So that just radiates throughout your whole business. And I know you employers out there, they're going to attest to that. And then also, you get to work with us as a supported employment agency. It's a no-cost service to your business for us to teach you about how to work with somebody with a disability, doing that free assessment of your business and showing where those inefficiencies are and helping fill those gaps.
So my name is Samantha Shear. I am with Holly Ridge Center. I'm an employment consultant. I really wanted to share a little bit about what we call informational interviews, which is really just a fancy term for we want to get to know you guys. Connecting with the businesses in our community is how we learn about different job opportunities, different industries, different career paths. I really couldn't stand up here and say I'm an employment professional or employment specialist if I didn't know anything about different types of employment. So I got to learn from the pros, and that's you guys. So what I really love to do, a key function of my job really is to get out there and learn. And that's typically through an informational interview, or essentially just a one-to-one. I see a lot of familiar faces in here, so I'm sure a lot of you probably do networking, chambers, BNI. I see Beth over there. There's Steve back there. He's an awesome guy. Yeah. So a lot of you are probably aware that in order to get business, right, people got to know you and like you and trust you. And you can't just kind of go in there blind and just assume that you know everything about mechanics. I certainly didn't. But thanks to Keith and Linda here, they are the owners of LK Auto Repair down in Bremerton. I've actually been working with them now, partnering with their business for, I want to say, 7 years. I met Keith at a networking event, and he was so sweet, had just this vibrant energy about him. I thought he was selling cars because he was just that. I mean, gosh, he could power a small city. But I loved his energy, and we just kind of clicked right away. And I didn't have anybody on my caseload at the time that was into mechanics. I myself knew nothing about it, but I figured, what the heck? Like, let's hang out, let's grab coffee. I want to learn about your business. How, maybe how could we work together? Whether it's supported employment or disability awareness training, like Ronnie mentioned earlier, or volunteer trial work experiences, those sort of things. You never know, really, and you never know who people know. So I met with Keith, and little did I know that one little conversation that we had led to 4 job placements in his business and a lifelong friendship and business relationship with LK's Auto. They just recently hired their 4th client, and she was in our vocational rehab program, so it's kind of designed to be a little more short-term. But she is actually now one of their top service advisors over there. And she's just blossomed and grown so much. And we actually now send all of the customers that have vehicles or need their vehicles worked on, they all go to LK's because Voc Rehab actually now contracts with them. So it's brought them a lot of business. It's been wonderful for the 4 employees that they have there. And I enjoy learning about like spark plugs every once in a while, or like how to change my own cabin air filter. That turns out it's really easy. Did you? Okay, you guys probably knew that. So if you're interested in learning about Holly Ridge or any of our other wonderful vendors here, I highly encourage you to, because you never know what kind of outcome you can experience. Just imagine the possibilities. Thank you.
My introduction into the world of people with disabilities began over 30 years ago. I had a young man by the name of Wayne. An agency brought him in. At the time, I owned a water treatment and bottled water company. And Wayne came in, and the first thing I noticed about him, he had a big attitude, really good attitude, and a big smile. I liked him immediately. The job coach immediately assisted me in defining a role for Wayne and in supporting Wayne in his new role. Wayne became my primary bottler and filling 5-gallon bottles of water. He did this over a period of about 2 years. It was a perfect fit for Wayne. Wayne was always punctual, dependable. He bottled water consistently following the process. Enthusiastically, and Wayne, with his great attitude, he had pride in what he did. 8 years ago, I started another business. And during an initial employee meeting, I was quite shocked when the franchisor came up to me and said, "You can't hire Jonathan." I'm like, "Why?" Now, Jonathan was diagnosed with autism, but he said, "Everybody here has to be able to do everything." And I was like, I remember Wayne, he was with you for 2 years. That cuts down on that employer turnover cost. You know what? I'm going to hire Jonathan. Well, during training, it was kind of fun. I was walking around and noticed Jonathan was missing. And lo and behold, I find Jonathan. He's in the walk-in closet in the back of the restaurant, light off, door shut. And when I went in, he was standing there looking straight up at the ceiling. And I went, okay, training's overwhelming, isn't it? I got an idea. Jonathan, follow me. And I took him to the back of the restaurant. And I said, "Hey, Jonathan, you know what? I've got a job for you. This job is making dough. And you know what's really great about this job? It's the most important job in the entire restaurant. If we don't have dough, we don't open." You know what? Jonathan, for 7 years, punctually, on time, responsibly, Jonathan came in and made dough 6 days a week, 4 to 6 hours a day, and he became my dough master. Now, like Wayne, making dough was Jonathan's perfect fit. As a business coach and business owner, I have experienced the positive business impact of having the perspective that all of us, in varying degrees, have levels of disability. And it's kind of tongue-in-cheek, but if I ever question it, I just ask my wife. She'll give me a list. But it's simply a matter of finding the right fit within our workplaces. Now, 7 years later, Jonathan developed the confidence and self-esteem from his job as a dough master to enroll in a welding certification class. Now, this is big because he went from here at Kitsap County all the way over to Spokane. He lived with his mom this whole time. He went there living in a housing situation there, but on his own, basically, getting certified. He came back. He is now serving an apprenticeship at the Bremerton Shipyard. Jonathan has a career. "22 years ago, my daughter Naomi was born with Down syndrome. My wife and I embraced this new challenge in our life. We decided, Naomi, she's going to be our second daughter. We went through a whole period of, miscarriages and everything. It's just, we felt so excited to have another child. One of our thoughts was, you know what? We're going to do everything we can to integrate Naomi into every aspect of life. Now, early in Naomi's life, she was diagnosed with cancer, acute myeloid leukemia. So along with incorporating 4 therapies a week for the first 3 years of her life, Naomi had to overcome cancer. She is now a cancer survivor. There was a big smile by Naomi over there. So now she gets to eat cookies and everything. From this experience, I've been committed to helping people with varying degrees of physical, mental, emotional challenges of all kinds. I choose to see opportunities in all people. Currently, I have 2 individuals. They've been diagnosed with disabilities working at my restaurant, AJ and Phoebe. AJ and Phoebe were part of Naomi's classes at Kingston High School. Her entire class for 2 school years would come over for about an hour in the morning and fold boxes. Now, they never asked me to pay them, but they loved the free pizza and the pop. So that was their payment. After graduation, both AJ and Phoebe, through a supported employment agency, came to work for me. the agencies came along to define the job roles, assist in training, and provide ongoing support, and do to this day. My other employees love having AJ and Phoebe helping in the restaurant. They enjoy working alongside them because they have a positive and enthusiastic attitude. They're excited to have jobs. All my employees appreciate the tasks that AJ and Phoebe complete. And I really like the fact that my staff has become better at their jobs because one of the things they have to do is come alongside them and train them. In the process of training them, it reinforces the skills that my staff has a tendency to forget or wander off onto their own ideas of how to do things. So in that sense, everyone benefits by having Phoebe and AJ at the work. Possibly the biggest impact for your business in hiring people with disabilities within the right fit and the right job role is to increase profitability in the business and impact of a life transformed. My experience with people with disabilities is they typically are long-term. They appreciate the stability, they love the routine, and most importantly, they take pride in their work. The benefit of the business is in the reduction in cost of employee turnover. Bottom line, profitability. An example of the pride developed in the positive impact on sales for a business, my daughter last week. We were picking up supplies because my main supplier didn't bring what we ordered, and it's a little supplier issue going on around here. And so I go down to this wholesale house, and I was buying supplies. So we're going through here, and I'm going down this aisle. I'm like, oh, man, they don't have mop heads. Well, we get in the truck. I load everything in, and we're heading down the highway. And I hear this little voice in the back seat all of a sudden pipe up, Henry Hardware has mop heads. Then she proceeded to tell me exactly where in Henry Hardware these mop heads were located. Now, I'm a little skeptical, and I'm thinking, they have household mop heads. They don't have commercial mop heads. So anyways, I kind of put it off. But every single day, for 3 days straight, I hear this, Dad, don't forget mop heads. So when she goes back to work on Monday, I ran in there, and she took me by the hand, took me to the aisle, and pointed to the mop heads. And lo and behold, I was surprised that, holy cow, they do have commercial mop heads. So now, Henry Hardware has my mop head business. I think I'm going to ask if Naomi should get a commission. I don't know. Okay. So the impact on our community is seen by how these individuals grow in self-esteem, as you saw in the example with Jonathan, confidence, and the positive attitudes they exhibit by having a life of meaning and purpose. The impact of investing in people with disabilities in your business is an investment in strengthening your business environment and in transforming lives. I'll close with this thought. When Naomi was born, a friend of mine told me, because we were totally clueless about disabilities at that time, Down syndrome means Naomi has an extra chromosome. It's a chromosome of love. Everyone deep down inside, everyone desires to extend their love and their expression of love, and everyone also loves to receive that love.
Please thank the Employment First Coalition, everybody.